So when you have threats, what do you do? Now, the first thing you can do, remember, it's called ATM. ATM. A for avoid, T for transfer, M for mitigate. So when you say A means avoid, what's the meaning of avoid? There is a threat on ground. What do you do? One of those things you can do is to avoid that threat entirely. Avoiding that threat entirely means if it is coming in this direction, take another direction. If you use a particular machinery, there is a risk that the machinery breaks down after every 28 hours. Then, if you want to avoid that threat, don't use that machine at all entirely. Change direction, eliminate the cause of the threat, remove the work package, as in totally do a detour from what you were doing before. So that is called avoidance as a risk response strategy. Another thing you can do is to mitigate. Mitigation essentially means three things, or let me say one of three things. It's either you want to put some strategies in place, some things in place to reduce the probability of occurrence of that risk. When you are reducing the probability of occurrence of a risk, you are mitigating the risk. The second thing you could do is, okay, you are not reducing the probability of occurrence. What you are doing is you want to reduce the impact. That even if that risk event eventually happens, you want to put some steps in place such that, our politicians call it soft landing, so that even if that threat occurs, the impact of that threat on the project would have been reduced. That is also called mitigation. The third thing that you could do under mitigation is that you now want to reduce both the probability of occurrence of that event and the impact of that event. So that is called the risk mitigation. Then the third one we have here is T, transfer. What does it mean to transfer? Essentially, it's like you want somebody else to bear it. You want to push it to somebody. You want to outsource. One of the very common ways of doing this is when you buy insurance. Another common way of doing this is when I've mentioned it, when you outsource to another company. Let somebody else handle the headache. I'm not interested. So even if it happens, that's somebody else's headache. It's not my headache anymore. So that's another strategy for handling threats.